George Harrison, who would have been 80 this weekend. Maybe he's having a little birthday celebration up there in the world of spirit with all his musical buddies. Happy birthday, George. And love to Liz and Sue in Liverpool. And they say of all the ex-Beatles, they like George's solo music the best. More 70s hits to come and a chat with guest Andy Fairweather Low. This is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 4 o'clock. This is Catherine Cracknell. BBC News has been told an announcement is expected imminently on a new deal with the EU on post-Brexit trading arrangements in Northern Ireland. Democratic Unionists have refused to join a power-sharing executive over objections to the current Northern Ireland Protocol. This morning, the Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, hinted the agreement could involve less onerous customs checks on goods travelling from the British mainland to Northern Ireland. Our political correspondent, Ione Wells, is following developments.
It's expected that full details of what any deal might include are more likely to come tomorrow. And separately, I've been told that as well as Conservative MPs being given a 3-line whip in order to attend Parliament tomorrow, the opposition parties have also been told similar. Labour MPs have been instructed that they should go into Parliament tomorrow, with the implication that there may well be some kind of update when MPs are given further detail of what a deal might entail.
Around 60 people, including a baby, are now known to have died after a wooden sailing boat carrying migrants crashed against rocks off Italy's southern coast. At least 81 have survived. One of them was arrested on migrant trafficking offences. The former Environment Secretary, George Eustice, has warned shortages of some fruit and vegetables could last for as long as 3 or 4 weeks. Supermarkets are limiting the sale of some produce after poor weather disrupted harvests in the Mediterranean and high energy costs hindered domestic production. The restaurateur, Thomasina Myers, says the UK's food supply chain is unsustainable.
No one's really admitting that our current food system is completely broken. There's a propaganda that the food system somehow miraculously provided cheap food for all, but the very system which it depends is rife with insecurities, whether it's to do with climate, biodiversity or public health.
2 Israelis have been shot dead in the occupied West Bank in what Israel is calling a Palestinian terror attack. Israeli and Palestinian security officials are meeting in Jordan to discuss a recent surge in violence. There was a time when the rough collie was a popular breed in Europe and North America, but now it's facing an uncertain future. The kennel clubs class the long-coated sheepdog as at risk, with numbers at their lowest in more than 75 years. Miranda Blake owns and breeds rough collies.
The very first founder of the kennel club, he owned rough collies. Queen Victoria had rough collies. Famous people in America, bankers, JP Morgan had rough collies. So they've been around for a very long time. They became very popular with Lassie. They were very popular at the turn of the 20th century as well, and they're a very versatile breed. In fact, the word collie is the Old English word for a useful dog.
Rugby Union and France are currently beating Scotland 22-7 in their Six Nations match in Paris. Football and Celtic are beating Rangers 1-0 at half-time in the final of the Scottish League Cup. Meanwhile, Manchester United will take on Newcastle in the final of the Carabao Cup in around half an hour. That's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 4. Now let's see what's happening on the roads. Here's Orna.
Catherine, thank you. And Northern Ireland first of all, and Belfast. So the A2 Sydenham bypass, that's between the A55 at Tilliesburn and the M3 at the city centre turn. So we've got delays there, heavy traffic, that's all it is. The M898 heading north, and that's from the M8 at junction 30 of the Erskine Bridge through to junction 1, which is where it meets the A898. There are weekend roadworks going on, which means the road's going to be closed until tomorrow morning. And the outskirts of Edinburgh, it's northbound though, so heading away from Edinburgh, near the city bypass at Craighall at the junction there. There's a breakdown. It's in one of the lanes. The M6 looking slow through the West Midlands. It slows down from around junction 10 at Walsall, goes down towards the M5 at junction 8, Oxford and the M40. So southbound from 11 Banbury to 10 at Brackley. A vehicle's having a tyre changed. One of the lanes is closed for recovery of that. The M25, there was a clockwise queue between junction 8 and junction 9 at Leatherhead. So one of the lanes was closed. It's thought to be a breakdown, but it's not getting any worse, which is the good good news there. And it's slow again on the western stretch near junction 15 at the M4 on the clockwise side. The M20 and its westbound queues in Kent approaching the M26. A car caught fire, so all the traffic is being held back by highways now, and there's a queue on the approach. And the North Circular Road looking slow at the end of the motorway, the M1, junction 1, Staples Corner, heavy traffic towards Drury Way. Back with more for you in an hour.